Okay, first son say all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bashim Al Shah, Bashim Kakodash. Nigga, double honor to elders, pastor, and teacher, great millstones, my learning shoot. Now say shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm going to say this on this whole Cuba thing. May go into another topic. That's a completely separate topic. But trying to make this quick and to the point. But let me see if I can find a good article. There's an article that I was reading. But where was it? It gave me exclusive. Cuba says ready to talk to U.S., but not about regime change. Trump ramps up pressure. It's not an article I wanted when they go into the thing itself. But you have Trump that's essentially forcing a deal with Cuba because Cuba gets resources from all these different nations. And I looked into why he wants Cuba. There's the reason why he wants Cuba. I need to look into it again. But the nigga stole Venezuela. Some people may say that he didn't technically steal Venezuela. He did. And he's sending American oil companies. Trump is. See, Edomites like this because obviously they don't really give a fuck. America first, even they have to steal it, which is true to their fucking heritage. But for all you stupid fucking niggers who like this nigga, this is who this nigga is. He's running up here and like going into what he's doing with Cuba. He's putting tariffs on nations that trade with Cuba, making things more expensive for those nations. But he's also cut off Venezuela from giving Cuba oil. So he's pretty much forcing a Cuba to come to the table for a fucking deal. And Trump is he's the Edomite, you know, because like there may have been a time where Esau may have wanted to talk things out, to act, to wait for things, to take their course in there, but now we have Revelation 12:12. I'm gonna get it, but these niggas are scrambling for resources. They're scrambling for world dominance. Now these different guys are talking about how you have the whole technological race. You have the whole race with AI, the nation that pretty much develops their AI to their artificial intelligence. That race, when you actually go into what artificial intelligence can actually do. But they're getting that, but they also need resources for the shit because it's expensive to maintain and to build. Very expensive. Version 12:12. If I can find the article, I forgot what I was reading, but it was short and it got into what was going on. Basically, think about how insane this shit is, because it's only the second month of the year, and this nigga he stole one country and is forcing another one to talk into a deal with him. But something they mentioned was how they weren't interested in regime change. Because how Esau puts in puppet leaders in other nations. And none of this is conspiracy theory, by the way. This is things that actually fucking happen. They're actual documented fucking operations that this nigga has conducted. Whether it was falsifying some information to go in there and steal resources, whether it's putting in a puppet leader, which they did with Venezuela, or whether it's putting in a fucking economic hitman to undermine and destroy a fucking country. Which they did that with Iran a few decades ago. But Esau's been doing all this underhanded shit. And like the scriptures say, the skirt is being lifted up. All this shit is coming out, Therefore rejoice ye heavens. And we rejoice in them. Woe to the habitants of the earth. Earth, like I'm driving. Of the earth, of the sea, for And pretty much these niggas are scrambling. You know, everything is moving at an expedited level. Once again, thinking about making deals and whatnot. There was a point in time where you would have these leaders that will be patient with each other, right? They say, hey, we want to do this, you know, give you this amount of time. But no, this nigga just said, you know, cut off all their fucking resources. And Trump, you know, that's so the snake that this nigga is, because he said that if Cuba doesn't come to the the table to make a deal with the U.S., they're going to have a humanitarian crisis, a crisis that he fucking started by sealing off their fucking resources. And what the fuck does that sound like? What? Problem, reaction, solution? In which these niggas create a problem, they get the reaction, and then they provide the fucking solution. Correct me if I'm wrong. And a certain incident about 6 to 7 years ago happened, in which your leaders created a global problem and brought forth a solution that was experimental and killed a lot of people, more people than that's documented. But to all you niggas, y'all still cape for this nigga. And you say, hey, the average Edomite isn't like that. Well, first of all, the average Edomite is like that. But the reason why they can't be like that is because they don't have the means to do like that. And there's this comedian his name is Bill Burr. And he actually made a joke about that very same thing. About how you have white people that have been able to do all of this crazy shit because they have the power. But he mentioned how black people can't do the same shit because they don't have the power. Nigga was joking around, but that's what came to mind when the average Edomite, if you gave this nigga a suit, a couple $1 million, and a little bit of access to all these different high-level services and weapons, they be doing the same fucking thing. The thing is, they just can't do it. Look at all these Proud Boys and these niggas. All these Edomites hate Jake. They want to murder these niggas. Going to these social media sites. All the shit they be talking behind the avatar. They want to do it. They just don't have the fucking means to. And when it comes down to the throne, these niggas will have no problem killing you fucking stupid niggas in order to retain their power and to keep the crown on their fucking leprous head. Habakkuk 2 and 4. And this is the type of stuff we've been telling y'all about, you know? All of these different fucking plans and fucking witchcraft ceremonies and rituals, all this shit is coming to light. And not even just the occult shit. You know, the underhanded fucking tactics and the damn strategies that the niggas use to keep our people fucking destroyed. Behold, the soul which is lifted up, not upright in him, but the judgment of God. The soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. The nigga isn't right from the womb, from beyond the womb. The nigga wasn't fucking right because he didn't go back into the garden. What type of nigga is the so-called white man? What you call him? What the scripture tells you. Take a look at what happened with Cain. He offered up the sacrifice that he knew to do right. He knew how, to do things. And the sacrifice he offered up was complete bullshit. And he got upset when the Lord took exception with that. But he knew what to do. He knew what he was doing was wrong, but he didn't give a fuck. And then when he got in trouble, he got upset. Not only that, but he murdered his brother when he saw his brother doing right. That's the type of nigga this is. An unreasonable fucking beast man. A goddamn caveman. Really a child. Because that's immature. Because like what? A sign of immaturity is not being able to take accountability. And I think there's Job that says that. Refers to him as a child, but this is children reign over him. But Esau, the so-called white man, is a fucking child, which is why you see him throwing all these tantrums and doing all this crazy shit, because what? He's losing his grip on his power. But that's the type of nigga that you stupid fucking monkeys cape for. Which it doesn't really matter in the end, because the Lord is going to be the one to correct all this shit and put this nigga in the fucking coffin where he belongs. Or rather, back in his chains where he belongs. But, I just want, like I said, I want to center it on that. And just go into a little bit of the mindset. Because, like, once again, think how crazy that is. He's literally taking the world by force. And think how insane that shit is. His nigga really just sat there and said, y'all going to face a humanity. See, and that's the God complex that this nigga has. These niggas have taken a look at Cuba, at these other nations, and said, you know what? Y'all aren't doing it right. So let us come over there and help you. Let us take over. Let us bring in a bit of democracy. And look how that worked. And this is going to be a different video. I might still make it. But then look how that worked for the northern tribes when them niggas came over here, right? You got niggas that will justify what the so-called white man did when he came over here. With, mind you, there's a certain way to do slavery. You know, there's a certain way to do things. See, slavery's always been a thing. The problem is how the so-called white man not only doing slavery, but just doing things in general. With how he's ruling over people in fucking general. That's the fucking problem. He came over here, he's like, all of this land that you see, it was all inhabited. They had their own systems, and you try to say, hey, they were savages, they were fucking cannibals, they were doing human sacrifice. Well, take a look at what happened here in the fucking witch hunt. Burning niggas alive, doing all so-called fucking witch hunts. All fucking civil war. The shit that you see going on now, niggas. Esau love fucking animals. You only met, and these white people, we got a lot of white people like fucking dogs and shit. I know these horrors do these goddamn animals and shit. There's a whole, all the goddamn fucking white on white crime that goes on, and these hypocritical pieces of shit want to say, well, they're not doing it right. Well, take a look in your own backyard. I'm looking up some, I actually tried to go to Google Gemini with which race of people have killed the most people in history, and it didn't really give me a fucking race, although kind of already know who it is. But it led me to different, like more so modern to mid-modern, not really quite that much past that's not proper grammar, but you know what I mean. Modern to mid-modern, not really quite that much into the past events that killed the most people on the earth. And I think it was World War I or II, which like 70 to 80 million. But likely the number is most likely way fucking higher than that. But you already know when they came over here, 100 million minimum. When it came to Esau slaughtering the northern tribes that are over here, and that's with Christopher Columbus. I think the guy's name was Cortez. So there was some prominent figure that came over here and slaughtered the Aztecs, Incans, or Mayans, or Jakes. So that's just the so-called Native American tribes alone. But then you have Latin tribes. They were over here before. Well, they technically all came over here. But I think the Incans and Mayans were. I think they were established over here first, because I know they're older than Native tribes are over here. But it's been a long time since I looked into that shit. But you had the northern tribes that came over here after the Syrian captivity. But yeah, what happened? What happened? You got the Native American slaughter, and then you go back in the past to Incans, Mayans, and Aztec slaughter. And I have to look up the numbers on that, because once again, the whole land was fucking inhabited by Jake. But all that land fucking gone. The whole land fucking rearranged, forests knocked down, rivers and bodies of water fucking just gone. And who was responsible for all that shit? So-called white man. And they're not going to give you the exact fucking number, of course. Well, you'll get lowball estimates. If you really look, you can actually find decent numbers. Because once again, the whole land was inhabited. Children, women, men, they wiped that. Hell, wait, going to what happened? They murdered all. Well, it's not murder. Killed all the buffalo, just to starve out our people, just to starve them out, because they're getting their asses handed to them by guerrilla warfare. But that's a nigga, and that same nigga will say, well, we're more civilized, and they consider themselves to be more civilized because they're using different manner of speech, but it's all the same thing. Yeah, El Apostle Gabar, I think he's still alive now, but he's been live for, I think, for probably like the past 2 hours, and for the past maybe month, maybe 2 months, he's been going a lot into the whole the ritualistic occult Illuminati shit that Esau does in the background. But today he makes your Bohemian, he makes your Bohemian Grove, that was talked about, in which these niggas will chase each other around naked like animals. And like, who's the real caveman? Who's the real beast man? Because he'll hide behind this veil of what's the correct word? A fucking aristocracy of morality. But when you go into what he does behind the fucking scenes, spirit cooking, fucking jumping around in the guy wearing dog mask at parties. Literally, the Lord only knows what they did after the fucking dancing was done. In dog masks. But then he'll look at another heathen country and say, hey, y'all aren't doing it right. And this is, the scripture for our people is stupid, because these are things that you can't just gloss over and ignore. You can't fucking do that. You can't just ignore this shit that this nigga's doing in the background. But no, that's pretty much it. Don't want to push the video any longer. I hope it's edifying. I hope it made sense. So all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shem, God, Kadash, the one as possible teacher, middle, and truth. Show with the hope like Israel, instruction, bound, great America.